Hello and welcome to This Car Pod.
I'm Kennan.
I'm Filippo.
And there's a lot to discuss, starting with
Bugatti.
the very coolest car ever.
This is so cool. So this is the Bugatti FKP Homage, which stands for Ferdinand Karl Piëch, one of our favorite automotive dynasties. He is an absolute killer.
A legend.
A legend, an absolute legend in the automotive business. But this car pays homage to the Veyron, which came out 20 years ago, which is over 20 years ago, which is hard to believe. But this is a one-off based on the Chiron, but it's supposed to look like a Veyron. And they're only building one of these, and it has some annoying details that you would hate, like it has like an AP Royal Oak clock on the dash and stuff like that. But the big news is that it really looks like a Veyron, down to the wheels, like the original wheels we love so much.
This is the coolest thing.
This is so cool.
Have you seen this?
Yeah, of course.
We all agree that the Chiron is better, but the Veyron is cooler.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Boom.
Boom. Yeah. Problem solved.
That is so cool. I saw the picture of this last week after we did our pod, and I thought it was just the absolute coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I couldn't agree with you more.
It is such a neat idea to take the Veyron, which was a compromised car in a lot of ways. It's very expensive to own, very difficult to own, and now starting to get dated. And to modernize it and update it with the Chiron improvements, but to like keep the look. It's like all those BS companies that are making retro versions of like the Diablo and the 550 and the 355 and all these things, except Bugatti did it and well.
Right, exactly. It is weird to think that the Veyron is now a throwback car.
Yeah.
But it is. I mean, it's been out for a long time, but I agree. I do wish that it were the blue and black color. That's my favorite on the Veyron.
True.
But nonetheless, like, they really went, they explained they went into a lot of detail to make sure everything was as close as they could get it, but just looked a little bit more modern. Like the front grille is different, but they were really careful about that, and they paid a lot of attention to their heritage, which I respect.
I'm actually surprised they were able to get this homologated for road use. I'd be a little curious to know the story. Obviously, this car was commissioned by the one person who has it, and I'm wondering what their country's rules are. In the U.S., this car would have to be re-certified because it's like a completely different design. It's not just a slightly different body panels. I mean, it's like a totally different look. You have different angles and different dimensions, and materials are different. And I'm really, really surprised that this was able to just sort of happen.
I'm not sure. I don't believe it was for a U.S. customer. They said that this cost 10 million euros, so I suspect that it's probably staying.
Well, yeah, and I think if you look at the picture of his, because that's the one. That's not a U.S. car because it doesn't have the orange marker.
Yeah, the DOT markers. That's right.
I love this car, and I love Ferdinand Piëch. And right up until this point, the only other car to pay tribute to Ferdinand Piëch in its name was
FKP.
The Lamborghini Scion, which was technically called the Lamborghini Scion FKP37, which was a reference to his initials and his birth year.
Right, it just rolls off the tongue.
Needless to say, no one knows that's what that car is called, but that was technically its full name.
Yes, very cool execution on that car. Very cool execution on this one.
This one better. This is, I think, one of the coolest cars in existence. And if it only costs 10 million euro, that's crazy to me. Like, Chirons regularly sell for 4 million euro. This car is obviously going to be a tremendously special collectible one day.
Yeah.
This car is a reason to get rich.
Sure.
There aren't a lot of things out there that are reasons that you really want to be real. This car is one of them.
That's
like people think there's a lot of, I want to fly private. All that stuff is either overblown or dangerous or bad or stupid or it comes with headaches. But this car, this is the thing.
Having a new Bugatti that looks like an old one. That's the reason to get rich.
A slightly old one.
A slightly old one. Not a Type 37, just one from 20 years ago.
I just think it's so cool. I also love these bespoke cars. Like Ferrari's doing this now too, and obviously Bugatti's done it, and Lambo's done it a little bit. Doing these like one-off things for like people who are just willing to pay for them. That's like what we are so into that the Sultan of Brunei did back in the day, and these companies are still like letting it happen within reason, and it's kind of cool to see it.
Okay, you got $10 million. For 10, you could buy one.
Yeah, I would.
You buying that over anything else for 10 million?
Well, I only have 10 million to spend on one car.
Correct.
Is this one of those stupid, I live in Singapore and my garage is only one space? Dumb crap.
By the time you get to this, you've owned all that other stuff.
The dude's got 38 other cars.
Yeah, exactly. He has this one, to be clear. Other Veyrons.
And apparently the watch that's in it is like the owner collaborated with
AP,
by the way,
which is a very rich guy thing.
I don't even think that the watch is silly, even though I hate that
You
stuff.
don't?
No, because like, This is all about like bespoke one-offness. Like it should have like really cool details.
To be clear for everybody, it's a Royal Oak tourbillon.
Royal Oak tourbillon,
which is a very
Also, the next car.
David
Go ahead,
Lee
Lon.
hook me up with one of those.
yes, probably.
All right, give us our next news story.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
Good Lord.
BMW.
The new 7 Series.
Yeah. Apparently, BMW dealers are starting to really request and push BMW corporate for an X9. So BMW's lineup has the X1, the X2, the X3, the X4, the X5, the X6, the X7, but then it stops. There's nothing bigger
Let
than
me
an X7.
ask you this: why aren't they pushing for an X8?
You know, they might, because the X8 would be too coupey. Historically,
because-
the even number is the coupe version of the odd number.
The
of Chris
X2
Tuesday.
isn't coupey.
I'll
It
tell
is
you why.
coupey compared to the X1.
No.
Yes! That
tell you
is
why
their
they're not doing
naming
it.
structure.
They're
The
both
evens
front-wheel
are
drive
coupes.
trash.
The evens
I know
are
that,
coupes.
but the X2 is not.
Every
Have you seen an
BMW
X2?
They look like a normal.
Have you seen it? Pull up an X2, please. I'm sorry, Kennan. We have to get this right for our listeners.
The X2 isn't. It doesn't have a sloped roof. It just has the two BMW logos on the outside. I'm not wrong about this.
Is that not a sloped roof? How would you describe that?
That's the new body.
Yes, what do you
Very
think we're
different.
talking about?
I'm talking
You
about the
describe it as-
original. I'm talking about the original.
I'm sorry. Do you think that we're not talking about the new car?
We're off the rails. The point is, they want to do an X.
A larger.
Nine.
It wants to be like an Escalade competitor.
If you
that
look at
Escalade's
the
10 inches
if you look
longer.
at the dimensionally, the X7 is smaller than other cars in its segment.
Yep.
As a 3-row. However, it's also been out for 6 years. I would argue just let them redesign it. We don't necessarily need a large. I mean, what are we talking about? Like a Suburban?
They want like an Escalade or Tahoe sized vehicle, which is 10 inches longer than an X7.
Well, they failed with the XM going for a G-Wagon competitor, so now they want to choose an Escalade competitor. That's their target, it sounds.
I'm not surprised that American BMW dealers want something that competes with that kind of top tier.
It doesn't make sense to me. A GLS is only 2 inches longer than an X7.
Sure, but an Escalade's 8 inches longer than that.
Well, what's a Tahoe?
Probably the same length as an Escalade. I
Tahoe is
guess.
8 inches longer than an X7.
Great.
They don't want a GLS competitor. They want a Tahoe
But they already
competitor.
have a GLS competitor in the X7. They want something even bigger because they need to sell cars in Texas.
It seems
Fundamentally
odd to me.
there is.
Why not just make the X7 a little bit bigger and solve both
I
problems?
think they would be okay with that too.
Give it a
Dealers
backpack.
just want more SUVs and they want more large SUVs to carry.
The X7 is small. It came out at a time when the 3-row segment was kind of
It's
burgeoning.
Q7 size even.
Yeah, it really was. But now things are bigger
Yeah.
in general. Let's give us a larger X7. I'm not surprised the dealers want it. I hear bad things about the 3rd row in the X7 as far
I
as
imagine it's small.
usability.
I will also say there was news this week that Volvo is considering a vehicle larger than the XC90. And so I think there is a little bit of a push to go larger.
The XC91.
XC110?
I guess it's better
There
than
are
X8.
odd. I guess 60 is odd.
XC100. No, but
120.
but the odds have historically been.
My take
Well
on
said.
BMW's naming structure is correct.
It's generally right, but the
It's
original
not just
X2
generally
was
right.
just-
It is at this moment.
You know
actually
why
correct.
they're not
Yeah, but
calling-
you admit the original
Also,
X2 looked normal.
Is there a new X4?
I
there might
think
not
so.
be.
I think they did do a new X4, although that car has not been successful.
You know why they're not calling it an X8? Because any badge that's ever worn an 8 in BMW's history has not been commercially successful.
What about the new 8 Series, the latest 8 Series?
Don't want to
Yeah.
call it a huge commercial success.
No, isn't it already failed?
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, I'm
Love
not
the
surprised.
31.
Everybody wants big vehicles.
Yep.
Everybody wants SUVs.
Yep.
The more SUVs, the merrier.
Yep. Factually accurate.
That's just the truth. Everybody's upset about this. Kennan's upset about this. All the BMW people. BMW has left behind. Well, look what buyers have left you behind.
Well, yeah, I don't care. I tuned out of that a long time ago. I'm not buying new ones. I want to keep the old ones
You
around.
know what continues to hit me as I think about this? When my mom bought an Isuzu Rodeo off the showroom floor from Jerry Roth Isuzu in Aurora, Colorado in 1992.
Brag about it.
Yeah, with a stick shift and steel wheels.
It's brag worthy.
That car didn't have intermittent wipers.
yeah.
You had to. There was an individual, like one wipe, and then there was on and off. And so you had to just.
turn on.
I love that level of humility.
That's what we could afford. Anyway, the point is, back in that era, buying an SUV required real compromise.
Yep.
And now it just doesn't. And
Yep.
so like the reason that all these people have been left behind with their sedans is like you can sit up higher and still have the same driving dynamics, the same acceleration, the same NVH. It didn't used to be that way with SUVs. And so you know what your new car is? X5M.
Yep.
Yeah, nah. Stick with my old one.
There is a Kennan out there who's 7 right now, who the X5M is going to be his E39 M5.
Or you could just have a regular X5 because it has the best BMW inline six.
The B58.
Yeah.
B58.
I got behind a rear-wheel drive one today.
Did you?
And that's
S-Drive 40.
S-Drive 40.
Yeah, I understand things have changed and younger demographics will laud these cars that are out now. I'm just sticking with my E39. I'm happy with that.
Well, the rest of the world wants their sport utes. In fact, right here, behind me, it's gone, is an X5. Okay, Next news story, please.
All right.
Oh, Volvo must be
This is a
Filippo.
Volvo V60. Volvo had said that they're done with wagons. But in a series of interviews, the chief strategy and product officer, Michael Fleiss, said that yes, he thinks that there's a market segment in the US for wagons. And I quote, even interestingly, China is coming up with wagons. It's hot right now. So people are really liking wagons. That is a direct quote. So there's a chance of Volvo wagons will continue, and we'd all be thrilled.
Wagons are hot, dude. I was the last holdout. I have never not had a wagon. I was the last holdout.
Own a wagon. I currently own a wagon.
I thought it had come down to a trickle. It was down here. It was at the very and I got one of the last ones in existence. I got the Outback here. You know, the Outback is now taller than a RAV4, taller in height than a RAV4. That's not a wagon.
The roof rails?
That's not a wagon anymore. I didn't get into the specifics because I think the point is made. The Outback is 8 inches taller than my E450. The wagon
and your
dead.
E450 is like 3 inches taller than my actual station wagon.
The wagon is dead.
Yeah,
but now
but it
Volvo
might be
claims
back.
they're. So who's still doing wagons? Audi's got the A6 and the RS6. BMW's got the M5. Mercedes has the E450 and the E63. And then you also have the Porsche Electric.
In other markets, there are other manufacturers that
Not
still
many.
sell wagons. All of the main European manufacturers have a wagon.
I know,
still.
but every time I go to Europe, which is every
There's
2 years or
fewer and
so,
fewer.
it's SUV central.
Sad.
It looks like America.
It's really sad. Smaller SUVs though, no X9.
Smaller SUVs, no X9s. You never see X7. Like an XC90 is a huge luxury vehicle in Europe.
As a kid, when the Q7 came out, the first gen Q7, it looked so incredibly giant.
Yeah.
You would see some 20.
You know, he tries to play this off. He claims he moved to the United States in like 2000, but now he's over here when the Q7 came out when I was a boy.
I would
that
go
was
back.
2007.
Yes.
I would still go back to it.
He tries to play both sides of this whole thing. Is he Italian? Is he American? We don't know.
He's an enigma.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Wagon.
I'm thrilled to have Volvo wagons. They're all going to be electric?
I mean, yeah.
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 But I'm thrilled to have Volvo wagons. They make nice looking cars.
I'm
wagons
hopeful.
are nice.
I'm hopeful.
I've never to this day had a Volvo station wagon.
Neither
Have
have
you?
I. No, sadly.
Do you ever have one? Who?
Of course. No, obviously.
Who in your circle of
life.
friends when you were a kid had a Volvo wagon? We had
A
one.
lot.
My buddy Brett Shea, his mom had one.
It wasn't
Pass.
common in the Midwest. It was Odysseys were really popular at that time. That was like
Yeah, you're
kid
too
carrying.
you're too young. Like it was
Yeah.
you're a little post Volvo wagon.
Madison, Wisconsin, Wagon Central. We have a couple of friends with V70s. Had a couple, legitimately 2 different friends with stick legacy wagons, the 09 generation.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
When I was
There were wagons.
When I was like 20, my best friend Joe in Denver had a V70 cross
Shout out,
country.
Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we took that to Car Week one time.
Really?
I was driving around Car Week in a V70 cross
dream.
country.
Wow.
2000,
What color?
like the boxy
Well,
one.
what color
White.
was at the top?
White with black on the bottom.
Oh, black,
But it
not the
wasn't.
gray?
This wasn't
Not
the
like
next
the-
gen. This was like a 99. This
No,
was
I
like
know.
the first boxy one.
You said V70 XC. Of course I know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, though the first 2 years of the then next generation car was also called V70 XC. They didn't come out with XC70 for like 2 or 3 model years after the 2001 model came out. That's something for you to look up. We're deep into Volvo wagons now. I'm right about this. You can look on our site. I bet we sold a bunch.
we haven't sold that many. It's a shame. All right, let's keep going.
What's our next news story? Oh, this.
Yes, Bertone. So, for those of you unfamiliar, Bertone was a design house from, well, yeah,
Still is.
Then still is.
They've
You know,
gone bankrupt a few times, but they're around.
Exactly. Like all good Italian design houses, they've gone bankrupt a couple of times.
Kind of.
But they've recently released this. They're calling this their neo-retro rebirth of the Auto Bianchi A112 Runabout, which originally debuted in 1969 and looked insane. This is a little bit different in that car gave birth to the Fiat X19.
Yeah.
this is, I don't really.
This is
just kind
from
of
the
standalone.
side. It looks like a little like wedgie, the same way that the X19 did and the original Runabout did.
Definitely. But unlike that car, which was powered by a very small
who
Fiat
cares?
engine and made 50 horsepower, this is powered by a 3.5 liter supercharged V6 with 468 horsepower and a manual transmission. And Doug is looking at Volvo Wagons.
I'm wrong, and I apologize to everybody.
Yeah, no, it's based on it's based on the Exige architecture underneath. But I think this is so cool. They're only going to build 25 of these, and they're going to cost 390,000 euros.
Yeah, I mean,
390,000 euros for an Exige with a Camry V6.
But one of the things that stands out, there's a lot that stands out
Big
in this
V6.
car. But one of the things to me is that it has pop-up headlights, which I think is fascinating because I thought those were not.
when you're only
not
selling
allowed, but I guess
25 cars and they're never going to see the road.
yeah,
matter.
if that can be done, then I want to see.
When
more
your
pop-up
picture's
headlights.
AI, you can have anything else happen.
Right, you got this guy who
mean,
looks like George Clooney
fundamentally.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
But it's-
I think it's super cool. I mean,
I think it is
they
too.
never got to make the original Runabout because it became the X19, but they never made the
Right.
Runabout. And now they can make the Runabout.
I actually think it looks almost cooler than the original.
It does.
Runabout.
I agree.
They're making 25. This isn't a news. We're never
It's
going to
cool.
see these things.
There's also some Ferrari, like, what is it, Conseco, what's it called?
Conciso.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that in there too.
No one's ever going to see this car. It's not a thing. 25 units. Is it a manual?
Yes,
yeah,
it's with
Exige, man.
6-speed manual transmission.
Damn, I want one now. I'll pay the 390.
Euro, sorry. Dollar's a little weak right now.
It's not going to be sold in the U.S. The problem
No,
is
of course
it's an
not.
Exige. It's going to drive like it's going to be tight and little
does
and
an
buzzy.
Exige drive poorly?
No, but it's like,
Well-
you hear Bertone, you hear Italian, you want some leather, you want a little more to it, you want a little more car, you want a little more quality.
We think about
this car
Italy
doesn't
in
have a
different ways.
Well, have you ever been in an Exige? It's not that the
Have you ever
Exige-
been in a Fiat Uno Turbo? No leather there.
No, but like when I think of an Italian sports car, an Exige is like a buzzy little lightweight thing. That was never Italy's thing when it came to sports cars.
My Fiat 500 Barth Cabriolet begs to differ.
That's not a sports car. First off, a sports car by definition is rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive.
I mean,
The Honda Prelude begs to differ.
yeah, dude. Yeah. There's a real sports car. Price like one.
The WRX STI I'm looking at different.
Or all-wheel drive. That's not a sports car. A sports car, by definition, 2 doors. 2 doors. That's Trump. I'm right.
he's not wrong.
A sports car is a 2-door rear-wheel drive, but increasingly I'll accept all-wheel drive because manufacturers have gone there. But a sports car needs to be 2 doors and rear or all-wheel drive. That's a sports car.
Audi
The
TT
STI,
sports car or not sports car?
It's all-wheel drive.
It's available front-wheel drive.
yeah, the front-wheel drive one is a Golf wearing a dress. The
Yep, and this is
the
an Exige
WRX
wearing-
STI is a performance car.
Oh, well, this is a sports car, and it looks delightful. And it
Hate
doesn't
when mom
have
and
to be
dad-
comfortable.
Anyway,
It shows
It's
that it's
25 units. This is a news story. Like, does anybody care about this? If you care about this,
We
tell us in
talked
the
about a one-of-one car.
and the Volvo Wagons, which they're going to sell
Haven't
2,000 of. We haven't actually covered any news today.
It's a great
That's
X9 would
relevant
sell.
to anybody.
X9 would sell.
The X9 would sell, but they're not going to make it. So that's 0.
Well, I'm into this, and George Clooney's too.
I'm into it too. I think it's cool. Move on to the next story.
I want to talk about Rag & Bone for a second because this is a brand I've loved for years. Their stuff has always reminded me of a really well-built car. Timeless design, great materials, and nothing overcomplicated. Right now, I'm wearing their Jack-infused denim shirt, and it's one of those pieces that just feels right the second you put it on. The fit is dialed, structured, but comfortable, and the materials are the kind that you immediately notice. If you're into cars, you know the feeling. You get in and it just feels natural. This jacket has that same vibe. The infused denim is built to last. You can feel the weight in construction without it being stiff or restrictive. And the wash is incredible. Rag & Bone uses an 8-step over-dye process that gives it this deep, rich color that looks polished but still relaxed. Just like a great car, it also gets better with use. That's what Rag & Bone does best. They take classic pieces and engineer them properly. The result is something you wear all the time because it works everywhere and it holds up. It's time to upgrade your wardrobe with Rag & Bone. For a limited time, our listeners get 20% off their entire order with code CARS at rag-bone.com. That's 20% off at rag-bone.com with promo code CARS. And when they ask you where you heard about them, please support our show and let them know that we sent you.
Give us something real.
Oh, Chuckwalla.
Chuckwalla.
Folks, this is the biggest news of the week. Chuckwalla, which is a racetrack in the middle of nowhere, is apparently for sale for $26 million. I'll tell you this, if I had $26 million, I would buy that Bugatti.
Twice.
Chuckwalla.
2.5 times.
I wouldn't need 2 of them. I would only need 1 because you can only drive 1 car at a time. And so Chuckwalla Is For Sale. And I saw The Drive posted this. You know The Drive over there?
I'm familiar with the drive.
Yeah. They posted this on their Instagram. And I was reading the comments, and the comments were all like, oh, God, another racetrack's going to be ripped from our hands. Oh, no, developers are coming for a racetrack. Folks, I'm going to be honest with you. Developers aren't coming for this.
Okay. It's way too, there's nothing near there. But
you ever been to Chuckwalla, you'll know why this will only ever be a racetrack.
Right. You pass nowhere and you keep going.
But
no one's living here. This is like
That is what it
as
looks
good as it gets for about 500 miles.
yes. By the way, it does include the airport, and the airport's included in the sale.
By airport, I want to be clear.
There's a runway.
There's a runway. It's a long, flat piece of unimproved pavement, which you probably can't land a real airplane at.
Apparently, it's in good condition.
Good
pavement.
condition. But I'm sure the desert sun will change that.
Right.
Okay, so
Can you imagine weeding that runway out there?
No.
Like the amount, what is it called? Like
It's the
raid or whatever. You're probably in California, it's been
Roundup,
banned
for the
Roundup.
record.
Yeah, they go to Arizona, they get like industrial sized tubs.
they do go to Arizona. That's accurate. That's where you buy
That's
right.
exactly right. This is sad. We've been out. You and I have been to Chuckwalla.
That's right, you guys have.
You've been a couple of times. We did
Yeah.
a tracked out video on it. We saw Nick right here in this corner spin out and almost go into the wall.
By the way, this is just a picture. There's an actual
The racetrack is over
if
there.
If you're a potential buyer, don't worry. It's not just a parking lot tire thing. There's a real racetrack.
We should talk about why this might actually be somewhat notable.
I don't think it's notable at all. Someone else is going to buy it. It's going to be great.
Okay, so the concern is Willow Springs got bought by a private equity company.
And it's going to be great.
The concern is that the price per track day, the price per rental has reportedly doubled, tripled in the time they've owned it.
Willow?
Which is reasonable because, well, they wanted to make money.
Turns
out it costs money to do it.
All the more reason to buy Chuckwalla. Willow's 3 times as expensive
Right.
to a track day. Then start advertising to all the Willow people and get them down here.
So there are some concerns that whoever buys it will want to modernize it. Maybe they'll want to make it safe. Maybe they'll want to add food. Maybe they'll want to add bathrooms. I don't know. They may want to do crazy things to make it livable. And then it'll be expensive and we will be out of reach for people in LA or anywhere else.
It could be improved.
Could be improved.
Like the thing about Chuckwalla, I love it dearly and it's great. And some of my greatest memories of Chuckwalla, in addition to the track day when we rented it out for a private track day for just us, we did video. Yeah. Chuckwalla was where we did the Storado launch, and that changed my life. You know, I was at the Storado launch, and one of the PR people comes up to me. And it's a woman, and she says, "Hey, Doug, nice to meet you." And people always come up to me with these things like, "Oh," and she says, "Hey, she goes, my dad has a Carrera GT." I'm like, "Damn."
Wow.
Most people are like, "Oh, I got a Miata."
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I'm like, "Oh my God, I still remember that." It's never happened before.
Regardless, it's for sale. I hope that something cool happens with it and doesn't make it
What's going to happen is it's going to still be a racetrack. I agree.
Yeah,
that it would be bad
It'll
if
still
it
be a
was
racetrack.
out of reach. However, when we went out there for our track day, we had to stay in Palm Springs, which was like 2 hours away.
Yeah.
Yep.
And wake up at 5 in order to drive out there and get there for the call time.
And then they drive back.
Yeah, and then it was like 6 hours back. We all went in my station wagon because none of us wanted to drive that far in any of our sports cars.
It's far. It's far. But there's obviously some concern. Like thermal is members only now. Like there's concern to become not a track that's accessible to
There
people.
is no situation in which people will pay for private memberships
not out there,
to this facility.
Well, if you live in Palm Springs, it's only 2 hours.
Yeah, but thermal is right there. And I don't even think that this is dramatically further out than Willow is.
yeah.
Like, they're all out there.
Yeah.
For San Diego, this is a good track.
If you live in Blythe, it's nearby.
If you're in Blythe and you have a Camaro.
They do have a drag strip. The airport serves as a drag strip.
Really? I didn't know that.
They have staging lanes for it.
That's how they keep
Quarter
the weeds
mile?
off.
Yeah.
Sean, we got to get out here. We got to rent this place out. What the hell? We're renting this place out. Folks, it's not selling before we
Gotta rent it
I
out
can't
now.
believe our beloved track is going away.
They're gonna build condos.
We're going to build condos.
Assuming they can have sewers reach there. Assuming they can build
The
it.
great irony is the idea of them building condos. If you wanted to build condos, you know what you'd do? You'd buy the plot of land next door, which is undeveloped and free. It is literally free.
Yeah. Lake Tamarisk.
All right, next news story, please.
Ah, yeah. Speaking of tracks, so there is a sale right now. There's a dealer, I believe, in the UK that has these two cars: a downdraft Lamborghini Countach, a 5,000 QV, and this. This is the Lotus Type 102 F1 car that raced in the 1990s, 1990 specifically. And what's notable about it is that it's powered by a Lamborghini V12.
Wow.
Now, Doug,
Which one?
So it's
Which
it's the
V12?
LE3512, which stands for Lamborghini Engineering 3.5 liter 12-cylinder engine.
The LE3512 Lamborghini engine 3.5 V12.
Engineering, I think is what it stands for.
We're still trying to figure out what LMO2 stands for.
Right. No, but it's just Lamu. That's all it stands for. But the reason I bring this up, I mean, it's very cool. This, to be clear, the engine in this Formula 1 car was terrible. It had 0 wins. It had 0 pole positions. It had 1 podium in its history. Not a good engine. However,
One podium is real.
right. It's bad. It was a bad engine. But my point with this is that you have often incorrectly asserted that the Carrera GT has a Formula 1 engine, which it does not because it was never in a Formula 1 car. However, this engine, which is slightly related to the Countach's V12, was in a Formula 1 car.
And so, you know what?
Very big
You know what I get out of this?
Yeah.
You know what I get out of this?
They added a couple liters, or a liter and a half.
Here's what I've learned. My Carrera GT has a Formula 1 engine.
It does not.
Sure.
Now we know that my Countach
Also
has a
does
Formula
have-
1 engine.
Wow.
It does.
The other
Kind of.
Formula 1 engine in our group, Nick's P38, has a Formula 1 engine.
Our friend Nick Roshan owns a P38 Range Rover.
Here's this tie-in. Have you heard this before?
Thankfully, I have not.
All right, I've heard this.
Here's the deal. The Land Rover V8 of that era was derived from a General Motors V8 that was produced between 1953 and 1981. It was the Buick V8. And that was sort of derived, that was how Land Rover got its V8. Now,
It's smart of them to use one from the 60s that gets it for 20 years and then make it unreliable.
yeah, somehow they managed to screw it up. But the Rover V8 was based on this GM V8. Also based on this GM V8 was Australian Formula 1 team Repco. They used the Oldsmobile, the Buick Oldsmobile V8. It was in a Brabham vehicle, Brabham, no one cares, and it won the 1966 Formula 1 World Championship with the Buick V8. And I had that engine in my yellow Land Rover Defender. So I would
a
argue
good engine.
I've had 3
So-
Formula 1 engined.
I'd argue the Carrera GT is not a Formula 1 engine. You have a failed Formula 1 engine in your Lamborghini, and Nick is the only one who's won a world championship with his engine.
Wait a minute. What do you mean failed? They had a podium, you said. They had a podium.
Yeah, of the 80 races it entered, it only had 49 successful starts.
That's pretty. Oh, start.
I didn't say finish. They started only 49 times.
They DNF'd before 35% of their races.
The engine is interesting, though. Believe it or not, Lamborghini had a handshake deal with McLaren to test this engine, and Senna actually drove a car powered by this engine and liked it. He made some suggestions. He said that he wanted a less brutal top end and a fatter mid-range, but ultimately the engine was just not reliable, and Ron Dennis decided to go with the Peugeot V10.
According to
instead.
reports, Senna even wanted to race the engine at the Japanese Grand Prix, believing that while reliability might be a problem, according to McLaren's engineers, the most they got out of any powertrain before failure was just 19 laps at Silverstone.
Yeah, exactly. It described it as a lot of sound, not a lot of go. I
Yeah.
think was the
That's the Countach.
and that is the Countach. So it's all perfect. And I do like that the Countach is finished in the same livery as the car.
Does
the
it
Camel
bother
livery is so
you?
cool.
Do we agree that they're using models for this? These are not real?
No, the pictures are
something
amazing.
about the Countach,
models. I agree.
something about the Countach looks too small.
Yeah. Does it bother you? I agree with you. Does it bother you that I have all these cars with Formula 1 engines?
No.
That doesn't bother you?
No.
You ever watch an F1 race?
Probably as a kid.
Probably in Italy. Oh, well, you were at Monza.
But my uncle, who lived about a mile away from the Monza circuit, would watch them every time they were on, every Sunday, whenever it was that they're on. Who knows?
Whenever they're on.
That
It's
and like
Sundays.
MotoGP. So you get exposed.
Well, MotoGP too.
You get exposed in Italy to racing.
You know,
I've biked over the F1 track.
That's cool.
here's
times.
something I didn't know, that when the Koenigsegg CCR set the world fastest production car record in 2005, it was using a version of the Ford modular V8,
I was wondering where we were going to get to.
which
Ford
is
modular
the engine
V8.
in the Ford GT, and it broke the record from the McLaren F1, which was a lesser car. So I would argue that my vehicles, the fastest, the Formula 1ist,
Whatever makes you sleep better at night, babe.
I'm surprised it took that long to get to the modular V8 because surely that's been used in like stock car racing and NASCAR. Like I'm sure it has other uses in America.
I think that by the time those kind of engines were out, you couldn't put engines like that in race cars. Like there was different stuff going on. Nonetheless, still, I still have all of the great engines.
You know, you could buy a Formula One car and actually have the engine. Turns out you get both of these.
Well, the Formula One cars aren't that expensive, right? Trash Formula One cars from like the 80s are probably pretty cheap. I'm not
going to use them, yeah.
Well, I feel use them. I mean, put an LS in a Formula One car, you could use it, right? Something to think about for you.
You all know I'm about finding value, whether it's a pristine Porsche 911 or a mint E39 M5. But let's talk about a different kind of asset. AcreGold. Inflation's hitting harder than a V10 at Redline. Gas, parts, and even car washes are through the roof. AcreGold lets you invest in real 24-karat gold bars for just a few bucks a day. It's like buying a classic car that never rusts. The value of gold is up 80% year over year, with experts predicting continued momentum. No finance degree needed, just pure, shiny gold delivered to you. Subscriptions start at only $30 a month. Go to GetAcreGold.com. Protect your money, keep it golden. GetAcreGold.com. That's GetAcreGold.com. Now, back to Car Talk.
All right, we got any more news?
Yeah, I got one more.
Whistlin was arrested again. Speaking of putting engines in Formula One cars, he bought that Formula One car.
That's right.
Oh my God, Whistlin, my hero. Oh,
He was apparently arrested at the airport. I seen coming back from Dubai.
at BNA, you think they arrested him?
Yeah.
So what happens next?
Apparently he was released on a bond about an hour later.
This was related again to the tax evasion on the Montana plates thing?
His Instagram post was basically, they still didn't send me a letter. They had like an additional issue, and so they send 20 agents to arrest me when I landed. He's wearing an LA hat, which seems surprising.
Yeah. This is tough because it's tough to hear about your hero getting arrested.
A second time.
First time.
Easy.
Who are your heroes?
It's exclusively Cody Detweiler.
No, mine is Cody. Who would you be sad about?
Harry Metcalf.
Harry. Imagine if Harry got arrested. It'd be like that for you. Like
He's too charming to get arrested.
If Tavares got arrested.
Tavares.
That'd be tragic.
Tragic. Wouldn't be that surprising.
Arrested, bankrupt, all of it.
Love Freddie. Love him. Okay, let's move on to the Talk Cars segment. The Talk Cars segment is brought to you. Oh my God. The Talk Cars segment is brought to you by Cars and Bids, which is the finest auction platform. Can you go back to
we need to get off of
the finest auction platform in the history of auction platforms?
Can I also say our app is phenomenal?
Our app is phenomenal.
It really is great.
And that is coming from an unbiased reviewer, Filippo.
No, okay, here's the thing.
Who helped develop it.
I read a lot of the reviews that we get for our app, and they're all just so positive. And somebody posted one today.
How many reviews do we have?
Many.
Of the 1,000 reviews on our app, only 860 were Filippo and his alt.
None were me.
They're probably great.
I haven't rated our own app. I should go do that.
You got to assume the app is great if 150 of our reviews were not Filippo. Okay, anyway, brought to you by Cars and Bids. Cars and Bids, we sell your cars or buy your cars.
5,592 reviews,
Wow.
4.9 stars.
That's insane. How do we have... How many... Oh, Sean says rate us on Spotify.
And by that we mean don't rate the app, rate the podcast on Spotify.
How do you rate something on Spotify? Can I rate my favorite artists?
Yeah.
Night Traveler.
I don't know.
100%.
I think you can only rate podcasts.
Okay, we got to move on
Apple
to the Talk Car segment because this is not only off the rails but ineffective. The Lamborghini, my Talk Car segment is only related to the Lamborghini John Temerian. I had it for a couple days as a press car.
The Temerario, yeah.
The Temerario, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. They gave it to me as a press car.
How was it?
Fine.
When's the review coming out?
I don't know.
All right,
great review. Thank you for that high-level journalism there.
We did what we needed to do. I will say, I saw it in your garage.
Yeah.
It's a big car.
It's big. The Temerario is almost a footy longer than the Huracan.
That's a large year, like generation over generation.
Now, Lamborghini's generations are 10 years.
But if the X7 became a foot longer, it's exactly what you want.
Well, no, it'd be too big. It'd be like bigger than an Escalade. It's a foot longer than the Huracan. It is 600 pounds heavier than the Huracan.
That's a lot.
And it is 1,000 pounds heavier than some versions of the Huracan, like the lightweights. It is like 3 inches wider, which is also pretty real in car width.
That's a lot.
Car width is kind of gate kept at a certain width for regulatory purposes. So it's really a much bigger car.
It's 20 inches longer than a Countach.
It's kind of unfortunate because,
Oh my God.
like, I loved it and I love driving it, but you kind of see like car design is going in this way that I'm not, like, as an enthusiast of the kind of cars that I'm an enthusiast of, I'm not that into, right? Like, the cars are getting bigger.
Yeah.
Some in part necessitated by adding plug-in hybrid and electric technology. But then in order to overcome the weight difference that you've created, you then have to add more power. And so every subsequent car is way more powerful, way heavier, and way larger than the previous one. And if the Temerario's numbers, I think from a percentage basis, are probably up there with some of the largest increases over its previous model. But there's been a lot of talk about the M5, same deal. They add a plug-in hybrid system, they add weight, they add complexity. Well, then they have to add power to make up for it. And I was just driving the new 992 Turbo, and that car is the same sort of situation. It's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's amazing driving that back-to-back with my 993 Turbo, which, despite the name, is actually 30 years sooner. And all these cars, and they all do an incredible job of engineering out the issue with adding weight, but they have to engineer it out. The way that they did it back in the day was the car just didn't weigh that much, so it felt tossable. And now the cars still feel tossable, but that's because there's enormous complexity in trying to overcome thousands of pounds and extra inches and feet in some cases of extra size.
You know what?
It's just a shame. It's like kind of sad. If you like a car that is like a tossable, fun but powerful car, the modern stuff has left you behind. Period.
Well, I think it just draws more of an interest to the stuff that's slightly older. I mean, that car makes the Garda look so svelte and like delicate comparatively. And driving wise, it's like when you drive you can do a lot to hide the weight, but ultimately driving a lightweight car just is so pure and excellent.
You can do a lot to hide the weight, and they do an amazing job.
Agreed.
But it just isn't the same. By the way, Temerario 4 inches longer than Murcielago.
Whoa.
That's nuts.
The place where that falls apart a little bit, I was just looking this up, and assuming you trust Google's AI overview, the Carrera T, the 992 Carrera T, is lighter than a base 997.
Carrera T is such a great car.
But even the 992 Turbo S, which has a hybrid component, is only 200 pounds more than the 997 Turbo. They actually haven't grown that much. They're only 3 inches longer and a little bit heavier, so they haven't added that much mass.
The actual weight of a 992.2 Turbo S is 3829 pounds.
So I was looking at the one numbers. Okay.
Well, and that's an important distinction because the hybrid system is added, and that's part of my point. All the cars we're sitting here talking about that are growing, part of a reason that they've been growing so much in weight is because all three of the cars I just mentioned, the M5, the Temerario, and the 992, have added hybrid componentry.
Right. Yep.
And in order to then counteract the hybrid componentry, then you have to do this and that, and you ended up with a 400,000 pound 911 and a long 911, like the 911. It's gotten to 180 inches long. My little baby 993 is like what I want.
Yeah.
But it doesn't exist. They can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Driving a tossable car is like there's something really fun about just like a hydraulic,
there is.
relatively light tossable car.
That's why I took that car and then added a large glass roof.
Right, flip a point to some car. Yeah, just add weight.
Up high. That's where you want it.
Add weight and complexity. That's what Filippo wants to do.
You need a 993.
I would love a 993, but
speaking of the 993, nice transition. I recently got to spend a long time in a 993. I drove 1,000 miles back from Oregon in a 993 car, 95 993 car being sold by Car by Motor Cars. Great seller on the site. It's going to end up on Cars and Bids relatively soon. I completely agree with everything that you've just said. Driving a lightweight, simple car like that. I drove it over to the PCH in Carmel and drove from Carmel down to Cambria and then over.
You got to do the drive?
I got to do the drive.
It's open for the 1 month of the next decade. It'll be open.
Exactly. I haven't been able to do this in 5 years.
Same. I haven't done it since 17.
It's wonderful. I did a whole video on it. It's on my YouTube channel. I'm really proud of it. I put a lot of editing into it, and I had a lot of fun.
Drone?
There's no drone. I haven't gotten to that level of production quality yet.
Drone.
Do I look like Stradman to you?
Stradman has a drone.
Thanks, and so does everybody. Kevin has a drone.
He's a pilot.
My point of this is getting to drive it on those roads. It's like, this is everything I want. It's small, it's lightweight, it's tactile, it's analog, it's simple, it's relatively reliable. It just did everything, and it made me realize like, those cars are worth a lot of money for a reason.
I know.
They deserve to be.
I've been making fun of my car for its value, but the more time I spend, especially in modern, I'm just like, there's something to this.
Yeah, there really is. And like, one of the things I talk about is just like, I know that air-cooled cars are a little bit more to take care of than some other cars, but nonetheless, it did it. I turned the key, drove that thing 1,000 miles, not one issue. It's just the car drove flawlessly.
And my car, which is undergoing a significant service, I called them today, it's going to be another week. Nonetheless, was driving just fine. We're just taking care of some leaks after 30 years.
It's longevity. You'll do that, and it will. The difference with those cars is you put the money in and it lasts. That's the beauty of those kind of old German cars. But nonetheless, it made me develop a real appreciation for the 993. And it through as cars get bigger and heavier, like you said, that era is really special.
Can you describe the transition from the light, tactile, analog 993 to your SL65, which is a little opposite of all those things?
It was shocking because the 993 Carrera is not
what do you think
base
about
Carrera.
Does that make you want to get out of the SL6? I mean, I know you're going to get out of the SL65 anyway, but does that make you want to get out of it and get into something that's a little bit tighter, littler?
Honestly, yes. Now, that said, you could do the Jeremy Clarkson thing where you say, well, if you lived in a gorge in Southwest France, then yes, you want the lightweight, nimble thing, but most people don't. And the reality of it is like around here, unfortunately, the way you use a lot of cars is on highways. Like to get to good driving roads takes effort, and the really tight, twisty stuff is like an hour and a half away. Realistic. It's an hour away.
45 minutes.
Palomar Mountain's an hour. That's an hour. And it's snowing right now, so you can't do it anyway.
Or maybe you can.
I would, but it made me appreciate
993 turbo.
I have to say the 993, I would really love to have one of those cars in my garage because there's a classic you can use every day.
It's a special
if you want to.
We really are a Porsche podcast.
I know.
I hate to say it.
I'm going to make a promise to you right here and right now on this podcast today. I will not buy another Porsche.
That's such an easy promise to make.
Maybe a 996 GT2 one day, but I will not buy another Porsche.
Or 911 ST. Or
I'm not interested. I'm not going to buy a 911 ST. I'm not spending $600 on that crap. It's a cool car. It's not $600. I can't even explain to you the number of cars I would rather have before I bought a 911. It's a great car. I will not buy another Porsche. I'm saying it to you here. I am committing to you that I am leaving Porsche Guidem behind.
With just 2 of them in your garage.
Well, I got 7, dude. You know what? You know what hit me?
Are you up to 7?
You know what?
You're up to 7.
You know what? I've had more cars, more than Porsche. I've had more Toyotas. I've had more Toyotas. I had a Gen 1 Prius. Never forget that.
I forgot about the Gen 1.
I had an 80 series. I had a 200 series. I have a Sequoia. I had some sort of Lexus.
Because we're not counting the Porsche corporate cars.
Well, those weren't mine. They would have been nice. They were rentals.
In the meantime,
I had them for like 6 months. They weren't mine. What am I supposed to do?
In the meantime, Kennan's going to buy 3 in the next year. He's going to buy 993. He's going to buy a Cayenne Turbo. Maybe he'll buy a Macan Turbo. Just
honestly, if I had the money right now, this car wouldn't even end up on Cars and Fits. I would just buy it. It's so lovely.
I am ripped apart to hear this. We cannot be a Porsche podcast. Spike's already got all that figured out. I am promising you here today, except for the 996 GT2, I will not buy another Porsche. I'm not saying ever, but I'm kind of saying ever. None of them appeal to me. I'm not sitting here looking at 911R is a little appealing.
I've still never owned one, to be clear. I've only owned BMWs for one Ferrari and a Mercedes. So I still haven't owned, I feel very lucky, but I still haven't owned a Porsche. I would like to. And there are bunches that I would like to experience. But there are other cars I still love too. I just think that that one deserves a spot in my garage.
I'm jealous of that experience.
It was wonderful.
How's the highway part? It's 1,000 miles.
Fine. It did fine. It is definitely, NVH has changed a lot. In the 90s, it's still loud and buzzy, which I didn't really mind. I had,
you wear AirPods at this point.
I had AirPods in, exactly. I didn't have them muted, but I had just music on that way. And, but yeah, it just driving it through Carmel and those twisty roads, it was so perfect. It was so great.
I'm jealous.
It's a nice car. It's a great shifter clutch. It's really tossable, very predictable car. Porsche had done a great job of developing the 911, and then that car was like the ultimate refinement of the original 911, with a lot of stuff that they had learned.
The multi-link suspension made a big difference on that car. is so much more
Steering
sure.
feel. Like Filippo's car, as much as I love it, the 997 definitely has more of a luxury kick to it.
Yep. Today's episode is brought to you by Cash App. It feels like everyone's gotten some kind of sketchy payment message lately. For me, the biggest red flag is anything that tries to rush you or pressure you to send money before you've had a second to think. That's what I like about how Cash App handles security. It's designed to put control back in your hands and help you pause when something doesn't quite look right. Your security deserves to be a priority, and Cash App treats it that way. With Security Lock, Cash App requires a successful Face ID or biometric authentication to access your account. It's like your money is protected by your own personal bodyguard, even if your phone is lost or stolen. Plus, if you're about to send money to someone new and Cash App notices something looks a little bit off or that you might be falling for a scam, it will send you a warning before the money is sent to confirm that everything looks right. Turn on Security Lock in your Cash App settings today and pay attention to scam warnings to keep your money safe. You can learn more at cash.app/security. And for a limited time, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use code SECURE10 in their profile at sign-up and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sun Bank, member FDIC. Discounts and promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures.
On the subject of cars we all wish we could own, Filippo, go ahead.
He did 1,000 miles in a 993. I did 1,000 miles in a Pacifica hybrid. And honestly, it was great. Over 30 miles per gallon. Across that drive. It's a drive I do often. I get like 25 in the wagon, 35 in the GTI. And I had a huge China cabinet in the back. Got 30 miles per gallon. It was delightful. It's a shame nobody can own one because they're problematic.
I don't understand. I had two issues for you.
Such a good car.
Issue number one, what do you mean it's not ownable? You did 1,000 miles. That's pretty good.
They have a bit of a reputation for having...
Yeah, but 1,000 miles.
Durability problems.
What do you take it to the dealer every 1,000 miles? You got 1,000 miles done. Boom. Problem solved.
Maybe I will own one. I love the Pacific Hybrid. It's so good.
Yeah.
Plug in, man.
You like how it looks.
I actually do think it's a good looking minivan.
It's the best looking of the minivans.
And it's like comfortable enough and quiet enough, and CarPlay works at least 70% of the time. And Uconnect works 70-ish% of the time too. We're good.
Chrysler says, such a shame Chrysler makes a bad car.
Yeah. But it's such a good car.
I know.
Also, it's no longer sold.
What? Oh, yeah, they no longer sell. They got rid of all their plugins.
It's that. By the way, I was driving the Pacifica Hybrid to pick up a China cabinet, but also to go to our event in Scottsdale. And I think we have some pictures.
I'm not done. I want to ask another Pacifica Hybrid question. You, on this very podcast, said that you were going to drive that pickup truck and the China cabinet back from Arizona with a U-Haul.
Look.
What happened?
Look. Some things happened that I thought I could get the truck started and load it onto the trailer. I couldn't. Also, the trailer's a little bit too short. I didn't end up renting it. What I had committed to.
All of these things were said to you.
What I had committed to last week was that I was trying to hire a shipper to do it.
And what happened?
It turns out very few people want to go to northern Arizona.
Okay, so you're gonna get
non-op truck.
You're gonna get the truck running in Arizona.
I'll do something like that.
You're not gonna think about it right now. Have you considered
the problem will be solved in the next week? Just
Have you considered getting an FKP homage?
No. I saw that news, decided, don't care. I'm going to just keep putting starter fluid in this carb.
So you got it.
Kind of worked.
You haven't got it running, or you have got it running?
I could get it started, but going further than that required more than I could do in the back driveway in rural Arizona.
Didn't you tell me there was a timing issue?
The timing isn't fully set, but it's close enough. I think that that would not be the only blocker to running. I can't get fuel in. Like, fuel isn't going through the carb. I imagine I could clean the carb and maybe that would work. I'm not a professional. I don't know how to do any of it. I called our coworker, Colton, who's one of our auction managers and was a mechanic. And I called him and he guided me through some early steps. And then I ran out of ability. And tools. And it was sudden. It was,
Before you said that, our producer was just shaking his head.
We all knew that all of this was going to happen.
I had given up on the U-Haul plan and I had put it out to get a shipper to do it. And it was just really hard to find somebody to do it.
What a struggle.
So you still don't have anybody to do it?
No.
Okay. If you live in northern Arizona and you have a flatbed trailer or a flatbed tow truck and you want to haul something from northern Arizona to San Diego, send us an email, Sean@carsandbids.com. That's SEAN@carsandbids.com. And Filippo will pay you. How much will you pay?
We'll see.
Filippo will pay you $2,600.
No.
He will pay you 10% below market rate.
I'll pay market rate.
Well, you just said you can't find anybody to do it. So market
Turns
rate
out,
is whatever this person.
Even at market rate, it's real hard.
Okay, tell us about the event. You went to an event. Did you go to Mickey's?
I did not go to Mickey's. I think we have some in the slide.
Did anybody ask you to go to Mickey's with them?
Nobody asked me to go to Mickey's, but I did star in a guy who has a YouTube channel about his Saab 900. I did like a pretty long interview about Saab with him in the parking lot. So
What kind
everybody
of stuff
won.
did you say? Did you get into your favorite Saab, the 97X?
It's not my favorite Saab.
Really?
Sorry.
What is-
I'm a pre-GM Saab guy.
Really?
He
You're
was there-
gonna
he
be a
was there-
purist.
He was there in a Saab 900, an OG Saab 900, not an NG Saab 900, obviously, that he had manual swapped because it's not hard.
Well,
Fundamentally,
Weren't
it's
they,
available
all
with
manuals?
Yeah, I'm surprised you see found an automatic, but cool guy. So we talked about the history of Saab.
What
why
other
Saab is
cars
cool.
showed up? Give me some cars.
All right, so the event that we were at was in collaboration with Avant and the Warehouse, and inside there were a bunch of great cars. FCP Euro brought a couple of cars, but Tim from BBI Autosports brought a couple of his cars. There were a bunch of other really cool cars, including a Series 1 E-Type. But then outside in the parking lot, there were some real cars.
Like a CL type 03 CL type S6 speed?
No, not that real. There wasn't
Like a Bentley Unati Air?
No,
Like an Audi Q7 V12?
sadly no. But there were a lot of GT3s.
Like
As you'd
a
expect.
front wheel drive Lotus Elan?
No, though we have one of those here in the office.
Like
So cool.
a
I knew someone in high school.
Mazda Navajo?
No, we did have a V-Cross though.
That's the Navajo of the next generation.
Yeah, truly the parking lot became a little bit more of a car show than I thought it would be. I guess it makes sense. People that are coming to a car
Did
event
you like
have
go
cool
out into the
cars.
lot and like crack open a beer and say, "Oh, look at this Jeep Grand Cherokee Freedom Edition"?
There were like a lot of really nice cars in the parking lot. 2 police officers from the Mesa Police Department stopped by. So one guy pulled up, and I thought he was going to kind of be a little upset by people blocking traffic, turn into the lot. But no, he just pulled over, came out, and wanted to talk about the cars in the parking lot, and then go inside and check them out. Alongside his buddy.
What was his personal car? An Infiniti J30T?
I didn't ask him. I should have though.
Yeah.
I should have.
Yeah.
The guy there was a guy that was assigned by the Warehouse. There's like a really cool artist car space that was directing traffic in the parking lot, and he had a Ford Mustang GT.
Did a Volkswagen Corrado SLC show up?
Sadly,
What
I
about a
didn't see
G60?
one. Corrado G60?
Yeah.
No.
Boy, all the cars I want to see.
It was legitimately, like, the event inside was absolutely incredible. Some really cool cars, really cool people, and the parking lot was surprisingly like strong as a showing.
Nice. That sounds
There was an SLR McLaren there. And a Pacifica hybrid.
Did it have it had its alternators functioning at the time?
Apparently not.
Can you tell us
Ford.
about the dyno situation?
Yes. So I have a video that's going to be coming out next week on my SL65. I took it for a dyno test, which is really cool. Now, the car had Rentec badges
Wait,
on
hang
it.
on. A dyno is a machine that measures horsepower.
Or a large
dynometer.
prehistoric creature. But this
Spelled
one,
different.
but the spelling is different and it's pronounced Dino in your language. But I took my
Dinosauro. That's what they said.
Dinosauro. So anyway, I was curious because I've been told the car has a Rentec tune on it. But I have documentation for everything else. I have no documentation verifying that it was added, when it was added, or what was added.
Do you have documentation for the badges?
No, nothing
But
related
those-
to Rentec, and
those
it also
happened.
has the lowering module allegedly, but I'm too afraid to mess with that. But so I was curious what power is making. So I
Yeah.
took it to a dyno test, and I'll reveal more there. But the big issue I ran into was that the speed. It has a speed governor on it still. So at 100 and
But it's not supposed to. The Rentec tune's
it's
supposed
not
to remove it.
supposed to. But the numbers are confused. I get into it more in the
You
video.
have to like do like a special sequence in the keypad in the center dash to enter Rentec mode.
That would have been a good idea had they done that, but they didn't.
You know, I've never
Actually,
dynoed.
it's a pretty good point.
I've never dynoed an auto car. So
Yeah, well, I mean, it has a manual mode.
Yeah.
You want to get to where the gearing is 1-to-1,
Yeah.
which is 4th gear. And so you slowly build up to that, and then you go for it. The one thing I will say that was interesting, you see in the videos, there's a guy who had to sit on the back of it because the car doesn't have enough weight over the rear tires and it just spins him on the dyno.
That's what Aero is for.
That car famously doesn't have like
Well,
any...
especially not when it's not moving.
Right, that makes
once
it harder.
it starts moving, though, he can get off, I assume.
The guy stayed on the back of the car the entire time. But it was a really cool experience. I've never done a dyno before.
Yeah.
I am kind of curious now what the M5 is making, so I might do a video on that. We'll see.
and that will be easy to do with the manual. It's kind of sketch.
And my M5 does not have a speed limiter. It is a little sketch because the car is doing about 160 miles an hour sitting still, and you're like, them wheels are spinning quick.
And it's loud, and it feels like some turbine is spinning at some speed where even a little faster and something is going to explode. And there are videos on the internet of dynos exploding.
I've seen them many times.
Or cars exploding.
And they even told me, it's like, yeah, you can film everything. Just stand over here, so if something does go, it's going to go past your head. And I'm like, yeah, right, good. But
I'm excited to watch this.
It was very interesting, I have to say. So, yeah, that video goes up on Tuesday of next week. So
on the Kennan Rolson YouTubia.
Yes, on the YouTube.
Okay, we got to go to Market Report. Market Report, of course, is brought to you by Cars and Bids, the single finest auction platform in the history of auction platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, take that. I don't know. Okay.
Well said. Really stuck it to the man.
I want to talk about the Alero. Can you pull up the Alero? This is
Let's talk about the Alero.
Yeah, well, I got a point to make here. We just sold an Alero, I think, today. For $4,100. This car,
5,300 miles.
5,000 miles on it.
Oh, the Survivor era is gone.
That's the thing. Everybody's like, oh, that's such a cool Survivor car. There's no market for them.
Not anymore.
No one is actually looking for a base model. Even if it has 5,000 original miles, it is just not all that appealing to people. And I continue to see this with Survivor cars. And some of me actually wonders, like, if you're just looking for a used car that will run, why not buy a Survivor on Cars and Bids? Like, presumably this has another 10 years left in it, 15 years left in it, and you just spent $4,000. This is better than any Civic you're going to find on Craigslist. Am I wrong?
It's not a bad car to buy, except for the fact that it was a bad car to buy.
Yeah, sure, but like for $4,100, if you just want a car to get you to work,
that everything is like all the rubber, presumably that hasn't moved.
Oh, that's old argument.
You know
about
what? Everybody
rubber.
says this,
The
and I used to say this, but then I've driven some low mileage cars and have had no leaks and no issues and no nothing. So it's like it depends.
Oldsmobile Alero.
But this is a 3,100, isn't it? Is it a 3,100 or 2.4?
I think it's
2.4. That's probably why it sold so low.
I have heard this argument.
3,100 would have been 20 grand.
I understand by design it might have some leaks because it was badly engineered, but like I haven't run into this like the rubber shrinks and it leaks problem that people talk about a lot more on low mileage cars. Genuinely.
All right, fair. There was a brief period of time.
Go to the mechanical photos. We'll see. We'll take a look at the rubber. We'll assess it right now.
Yep.
I think there was a brief period of time when it could have been
That
worth
is clean.
something.
That is clean.
Yeah, it's a 5,000 mile car.
There is not a single GM 2.4 liter that still looks like this.
Nope. Normally the alternators are completely rusty or
That is
caked with
crazy.
salt.
Oh, they replaced the oil and filter.
Good.
That's all you need. Oil and go. This car, like every Alero, is going to make it to 60, 70,000 miles before the transmission fails. I think you're going to be just fine, folks.
Man, that car got to 5,000 miles. They had a 5,000 mile service in February of 2003. So they drove 5,000 miles in the 3 years. And zero.
Where is it? Where
Florida.
Man, that's so Florida. I just think Survivor cars are a bargain. I truly believe this. For $4,100, you cannot buy a Civic or a Corolla. Like, it doesn't exist. It's a ratty car. Or you can go buy an undriven Alero. And in all honesty, the GM cars of this era were pretty reliable. They truly were. GM had kind of worked the stuff out. It was it was not a good car. Dynamically, it was bad. The tech is not good. But I bet you this car, if you wanted to start dailying it today, could last you longer than any equivalent $4,100 car you could buy. And that's true of a lot of Survivor cars that we sell. There's just no market.
It's a GM product, so the AC is probably pretty good.
Okay. Well, that was interesting.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much for
that is a reputationally correct thing.
All right, move on to, I want to talk about the NSX and then the Emira situation. Let's talk NSX.
Yeah, we sold the NSX that's right behind you.
Behind me.
For $80,567. Has 321,000 miles, just about.
Hats off to Ryan for taking these pictures.
Photos look great. You did a really great night drive video in it. You did a review of it.
321,000 one owner miles. And it got all the money. Now, part of it is we did a top end rebuild.
That helped, certainly. But, the person that I spoke with, the buyer, obviously we're arranging when they'll come pick it up. He hadn't looked at the service documentation.
He just wanted the car.
Just wanted the car.
Damn, he got a great car then. He got lucky.
He was like, does it need any work? It's like, look at the service doc. No.
This thing just said 20
work has already happened.
I wonder if we made
super nice guy. Because we were selling alongside Coinbase, put in a lot of money to make sure it was perfect for the next buyer.
Yeah. So we lost money.
So we lost money. But obviously, every other reasonable human that would have purchased it would have made a little bit of money.
Especially the next one.
Yeah, but it's such an incredible car. I'm kind of jealous.
I saw the buyer commented, "I'm taking this to 500,000."
Yeah, he has that. He also has an Evora GT that is the same colorway, if memory serves.
Colorway.
Red, black.
Damn, I'm here for that.
That, by the way, was previously Jay Leno's press car. It's signed by Jay Leno.
Colorway instead of spec.
I live in
for that.
I live in the watch world. I'm already used to it.
Yeah.
And he's getting there.
Yeah.
That thing looks
With
so
his
good
Nomos.
there. Look at that. That is a really cool looking
It's
car.
such a good car.
Sad to see it
you
leave
also
our
just
office.
turn around. It's literally sitting.
I know, but that photo, this is why you got to take good photos, because I see it sitting there. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Then I look at that photo and I'm like, damn, I want that. I like that, but I want that.
Exactly. Like I said, on my tombstone, it will say, "Here lies Kennan. He asked for better pictures."
So that thing was a big sale. I was really happy
Yep.
to see that. Also, because of our NSX love recently, we've had a bunch more NSXs come on the site.
A couple live right now.
There's 2 live right now that couldn't be more different. It's literally the opposite of the NSX world. One is a late model stick, and the other one is a first year or second year tip. Both are appealing cars, though. This car at 42 is pretty appealing. Like, get in and drive it as a commuter. It can do 320,000 miles.
That's an interesting point. That's an interesting point.
Like, I think this car is cool as hell.
Well, you also have to imagine whoever buys it, it's to be manual swapped immediately.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with the snap ring thing on this 91 tip. It's a 4-speed tip.
Nice.
You're all good, folks.
Can I
you should
say-
comment in the auction and be like, does it have snap ring?
Can I say about the buyer of the one that we just sold? He told me on the phone that he has a Z31 and a Z32.
Oh, wow.
300ZX.
Huh. Z31, wow.
Wow.
Right. He has an FDR X7.
Damn. He's he's got a Super?
He has an Evo 6.
Does he have a Mark IV?
No.
Got an Evo 6,
He's
though. That's
looking
not-
for a Diablo.
Wow. He's a 90s man.
It's a questionable choice.
This guy has taste.
But he's got taste.
He's a 90s guy. Get him
Side of
into
the
a
car.
Mega, dude.
A Mega Cruiser would work. He did say he has an Ineos Grenadier, so maybe a Mega is like a upgrade.
Ineos Grenadier is like a Mega for people who aren't ready.
I mean, aren't ready to not be able to do the speed limit.
I drove the speed limit in a Mega.
It has a 90.
Quit downhill with wind.
It was lower speed roads.
Yeah, that's right. You did
But remember, the guy who bought the Mega that I reviewed drove it from Denver to Seattle.
Yeah, just because he did it didn't mean it was like fun or enjoyable.
I think about that like pretty often. I thought
did-
about it yesterday. Just like it came into my mind. That guy drove that Mega from Denver to Seattle.
How far into that drive do you think he was like, "Oh man, I've made a mistake. Should have shipped this thing."
Littleton, when he was in Littleton. Okay. The other thing I want to talk about is Emiras. Can you hit me with an Emira?
Yeah. All right. Emiras.
Emira.
85 grand is what an Emira is, just regardless of how you spell it.
85 grand.
That is what a manual Emira is. They're all between
Yeah.
like 85 and 90.
Here's
at
an
this point.
interesting Lotus
That's too much
thought.
Okay, keep going.
The company has been in bankruptcy or near it since I've been
Yep.
alive. The cars all are incredibly desirable.
I know.
How does
they
this
retain
make
their value?
sense?
Obviously, MSRP was higher. MSRP was in the low 100s. Sorry, for this specific car, that one that sold for 86, MSRP was 96. So they've lost a little bit. They're not above market.
Like, I would
or above
assume
sticker.
that this car is going to plummet.
I really wanted it to because I really want an Emira.
Yeah.
I also just,
None of them are selling for cheap.
No, the cheapest one was an automatic that failed to sell at 82, which honestly seems like a good price.
part of it is I think it is a really good car.
It is.
That was an automatic
everybody-
4-cylinder. That should have sold.
Yeah, that should have. Everybody I have talked to who has one loves it.
Yeah.
Yes, they're good.
And like I genuinely think they're
no
good
cheap
cars.
enough.
So I think the market is clearly speaking like they are desirable.
Yeah.
But it's weird
unfortunately.
because then why do we always hear that Lotus is going out of business, gone out of business,
Because
dying?
the company poorly manages its finances. The product is good, but how they spend their money
it's so
is
funny.
poor.
Even Avoras hold their value like to crazy
It's
levels.
really annoying.
Put an
Evora
Evora.
GTs and Evora 400s, which are the ones you want, are too expensive.
I want any Avora, and they're all Suzuki every.
Sorry, I don't know why I
God,
changed,
take that off.
why I changed that.
A 2+2 or an S, which were the early ones, are in the 40s and 50s.
That's real money, though. A
GT 's
Cayman.
70.
This is more money than a Cayman from this era. An 11 Cayman is
Yes.
not $43,000.
No, they've retained their value too well. It's really annoying. As somebody
maybe
that wants a cheap one.
Just $43,000.
I think it's because they're just like decent
But
cars.
especially the GT and the 400s are
that looks so good.
valuable.
That was a wrap.
Yeah, it's a
I
wrap.
love that. Why didn't they do that?
They're
That is
just,
cool.
That should be E. OE.
Lotuses hold their values.
Lotuses hold their
Except,
value.
of course, for the
Esprit?
Elytra.
That hasn't held its value new. Actually, that's going to hold its value pretty well based relative to the transaction price. There's a 250 sticker, but they're going to transact at 80.
They can't because Lotuses have to pay 125 grand in tariffs to import it. It's going to be tough for them to sell it.
It is
they're
crazy.
too expensive.
I do think that a huge part of why these cars hold their value so well is the Toyota powertrains. Or in the case of the Emira, it's a Toyota powertrain or a Mercedes one, right? Depending on which
Also,
version
they're
you
just
get.
competent, real sports cars. But even by your definition from earlier, they're real sports cars.
And they all look very exotic.
Yeah.
This is not my definition like I just made it up. A sports car is 2 doors, rear or all-wheel drive, and in my opinion, it should be 2 seats. Should be 2 seats.
911? Not sports car.
Should be 2 seats, should be rear-wheel drive, but I make exceptions when I need to on the all-wheel drive and on the 2+2. But they all have 2 doors. There is no 3-door sports car. Sorry, RX-8.
Every Dodge Challenger V6 sports car.
No, I didn't say every. I didn't say every.
Just to be that. It
has to be. That doesn't mean that.
Why isn't a V6 Challenger a sports car?
It's not a sports car.
Why?
Because, listen, Filippo, I know it when I see it.
Yeah, okay. Great. Helpful.
Why don't you go car by car and I'll tell you what's a sport car and what's not, all right?
It's not. This seems like a bad idea. Disaster. We're going to get
It
emails.
harkens back to the MGs, okay? Those were sports cars. They were 2-seat, 2-door, rear-wheel drive. That was a sports car. Now, we've expanded the definition a little bit over the years.
Every car basically was rear-wheel drive, and
Were they 2-seat and 2 doors?
many were.
Many were, like MGs. And they were convertibles. You know, I, at some point, had a purist definition of what a sports car should even be it had to be a convertible. But I've let that go, even though I still think that preferably a sports car has an open roof.
Really?
The Miata is
Hey,
a
when was
sports
the
car.
last time the roof was off on any of your cars?
What do you mean? Ford GT? Every week.
Yeah.
All right, Kennan, speaking of market report, what do you got?
Yes, so I recently did another video on the Cars and Bids YouTube channel on this Jaguar XK-140. The one now, this is an SE, which is very special. So the SE stands for special equipment. In the US, they were called something slightly different, but this one was actually called an SE. But the big thing this one got is got the Jaguar C-Type head, which is very desirable. The way you can tell it's got the C-Type has is right in the middle. It has a C that's cast into it, and they're all red at the end. There's also some markings on it that shows that it's got
Type C.
Yeah, I took a picture of it. It's in here somewhere. But this car, I was shocked. I have almost completely ignored cars in the 1950s because they're just not like particularly interesting to me. Then I drove it and I'm like, this is such an experience. It is so raw, and it's just so beautiful and it's so fun. And it's like, I understand that, like, and I say this in the video, I understand that like modern younger enthusiasts, like, I mean, from financial constraint points alone, like having one car is enough, having two is kind of like untenable for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I totally get that.
Yeah, I only own 4 cars right now.
But if you have a little bit more money, right, exactly. I mean, Filippo's rich over here. But if you have you have more room in the garage and a little bit more money to spend, this offers an experience like nothing else. And I think that these are relative bargains given how cool they are. I think it's one of those beautiful cars. It's historically important. It was fun to drive. It's relatively quick. And I was shocked at how much I enjoyed it.
Good cars. I also kind of turned my back on a lot of 50s, 60s stuff, but good cars from that era are really good.
Yeah,
really.
A Gullwing is like a really good car.
Yep. I still haven't driven one, so I can't say.
But it's the same kind of idea. Like cars that were good, that were well engineered, and that were are good. They may not be as usable. Like the Daytona, though, is a special. Like there are cars from that era that I now even look at and think, should I?
Yeah. You know, it has real. The Countach opened our eyes to these older cars. True.
No one in our friend group had a car that old, or even close to that old, until I got the Countach.
Or would have even considered. But now it's like
and then it's like, well, if I'm already dealing with carbs, what else should I? And it hasn't been so bad. Like, what else is out there? And then you start thinking about Daytonas. Then you start thinking about these. Then you start thinking about Dynos.
Well, and the E-Type that you recently did a video, like that car, I was shocked at how nicely that car drove. Like, they really, it also underscored, at one point, Jag was making some of the best cars in the world.
Yeah.
They really were. Because they had won Le Mans in 1951 and 1953 with the C-Type. This car was one of the fastest cars on the planet. It was just like so far ahead of its time.
Yep.
My favorite thing, and I could talk about this car forever. In the 1950s, Jag was really into setting speed records. They really wanted to like prove that the cars were durable, reliable, and fast. And one of the things they did with an XK was they took it, and a guy had driven it for, I think it was 100 miles an hour, over 100 miles an hour for 24 hours, only stopping to change the driver. Like they changed it. And one of the drivers got and said, this car is so solid, you could do this for a week. And so Jag was like, you know what? let's do that.
do it.
And so they did exactly that. And they drove one for an entire week. And I think at one point it had suspension issues, but they just kept going.
Well,
and it's 17,000 miles, but it was constantly running for a week, only stopping for fuel and to change drivers. That was it. And,
Wild.
yeah. Now, when we think Jag, it's like reliability is not, but at the time it was like, this should have been, the E-Type was great. And if only they continued that upward trajectory, but they lost the plot somewhere after the XJ220 and I think.
After the XJ220.
They definitely lost the
before.
plot late in the E-Type.
I think for me, I think it was the XJS is where
When the
things started to go
XJS
wrong.
came out, it was kind of the beginning of the end for Jaguar. But there had been a lot of political change. I mean, there was a fuel shortage. Life was different.
Definitely, but I can recognize that the XJ220 and like the XJR15 are very special, really incredible automobiles.
As is the XE Project 8.
Yes, Harry Metcalf. But this to me
Sport Break.
was just such an experience, and a lot of people commented it's finally nice to see Kennan review a car from his era. Which I don't disagree.
I'm glad you liked it so much. I totally agree. I think that really well done cars from this era are surprisingly enjoyable. It's an era that I had completely cast aside until I actually drove some well done cars from this era. And you remember people drove these,
Well, and also,
like around, like it's
Totally.
now it's looked at as such an imposition to drive an old smelly car, but actually these were people drove them, like it was doable, and you could do it again if you
This was my uncle's first car. Was an XK-140.
Really?
Which was, having driven that, I was like, I don't know how the hell he drove that every day.
Nice.
Yeah, well, Uncle Chuck, he's a killer. But yeah, go check out this auction. Go watch the video, and this is also from Carbine Motor Cars, another great seller. So.
All right, we got to move on to questions. Folks, we had great questions this week. And you too can ask us questions. You go to carsandbids.com, you click on the community tab, there's the Cars and Bids questions area. Yep. And you click on this and you ask your question. I look through every single question, everyone, to find the finest, best questions.
Wow.
And so even if it's late in the week, ask your question, you might be answered. I am answering some questions this week that got 0 upvotes.
Whoa, we're getting controversial here.
I just wanted to get the good stuff. Sean's coming to kill us. First question from Big Boy Car Lover. Douglas, you take pride in having owned a wide range of vehicles, but there is something you've never had, a pickup truck. If you had to buy a truck, old or new, to go with your current fleet, what would you get? I want to be clear. Is it true that I haven't had a pickup truck? That might be true, but I had a Hummer.
Wagon.
Yeah, but, guys in pickup trucks are driving a Rolls Royce compared to that thing.
What would you have? You'd have a Ridgeline.
Oh, we forgot to talk about the Ridgeline. No, I would never in my life ever consider a Honda Ridgeline.
What about a Subaru Baja? What about a Brat?
No.
What about a Hyundai?
Toyota trucks. I sometimes think about a four-door Tacoma.
Four-door Tacoma's a good truck.
I like the new Frontier, kind of.
Yeah.
I like a small, mid-sized kind of Japanese truck. I like
the new Frontier is great.
I don't need a big truck. Like I can't justify or need a big truck. I like the Ranger a lot. The new one and the
Ranger's
old one.
good. Yeah.
The one that came out in 19 and
the one that came out in 19 really came out in like 2012.
Yeah, but that was a great truck.
Yeah.
And it used a great
When it
powertrain.
came out,
That Turbo 4 was a great engine.
Diesel Colorado.
I don't know. The Chevy trucks have never been as appealing.
Wow, you're a Ford man. Dodge Dakota convertible.
He's a Toyota man.
Dodge Dakota.
Yeah, I would get a Toyota
convertible.
No.
Filippo was genuinely upset about this. I've never seen him
Pull
so
up the Dodge
angry.
Dakota convertible we posted.
I would, if I had to buy any of the full-size trucks, I'd probably get an F-150 over a Silverado.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
And I would probably get a Ram over both of them if it wasn't.
We've posted so many.
Yeah, I want the.
Yeah, a Ram is the Ram.
Shelby
is a great
Dakota is a different situation.
That's legit.
You know, one thing that has never really appealed to me has been the high performance trucks. Like I've never, like Nick wants a Ram SRT10, Raptor, TRX. I like all those.
It's not you.
Never really been into like the concept of actually going out.
Your SUVs have Camel fenders, but you're not that January 6th.
Right. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that I should be thinking of? Oh, an X-Class.
No.
Pull up an X-Class.
Oh, I'm familiar with the X.
We don't talk about the Amarok.
The X-Class I would buy.
It was based on the Amarok, right?
No, it was based on the Nissan Navara.
That's right. It was based on the Navara, but isn't the Amarok also based on... There's a lot of like development sharing in the European truck.
I remember doing a
where I
presentation
saw
in
one of
college
these?
about this.
Wow.
You know where I saw one of these? Bratislava.
Wow, really?
I saw one in Durban.
You got to be pretty legit
Wait, I have one for you.
to be seeing an X-Class in Bratislava. Any of you viewers out there ever seen an X-Class in Bratislava?
Shout out to Bratislava.
You know what they make in Bratislava? The Cayenne. All right, let's move on to the next question.
Please pull up the 2000 Fiat Strada.
Oh, yeah. I do like the little trucks, the little Mexico trucks, the little Latin America trucks. I do like those.
Look at that yellow one, far left.
I don't like those, but the current ones.
They're atrocious.
What's the Ram 700?
Or the Ram Rampage.
You know how it's the Ram 1500?
Yeah.
In Mexico, they sell the Ram 700, and I
do.
actually really legit like that.
Yeah, it's a cool truck.
That's also the Fiat Strada, right?
Yeah.
That's a cool truck.
But we only think about the 2000.
Oh, I like the Maverick a lot. I like a hybrid.
The Maverick is great.
There's a lot of
the
trucks
Maverick
I would get.
over.
It's just never happened, but it will
Slate.
someday. I love that Ranger.
No, it won't.
Will it? Why would it?
Why
ever
would it
happen?
happen?
Because, dude, I gotta transport materials. All right, next question. From Robio Math. Doug, Phil, and Filippo, and Kennan, let's hear how fast you've driven and what vehicle you were driving. Fastest you've driven.
In Mexico, of course, 160 miles an hour in the SL65.
You've been 160 in your SL65?
Yeah, in Mexico.
Oh my God.
Close by. It's easy.
It moves.
You're insane.
It's fast.
That's
My M5 was not far behind. I have done 150 something.
You're gonna
in it
kill
before.
somebody.
Nah, there's nobody around.
What about you?
I don't know. I can't think of. There's not like a number that's sticking out of my mind.
I did 160 on the Autobahn on a Cayenne Turbo.
Oh, I did clatter into the limiter a couple. And was 155 is where the
In your X3 limited.
X3 M50i on the Autobahn.
That's fast.
Hit 150 kilometers many times.
I'll tell you something, 160 is a lot. I
Yep,
did it in a
fast.
Cayenne Turbo. I did it like 3 times in the same Cayenne Turbo, which
good
was
car to do
actually, let's check this out. It was actually a Gen or 957 or whatever the 9PA is correct. It was like a 2010
So a facelift first gen Cayenne.
first gen Turbo S on
Dang.
the Autobahn going 100.
5-speed automatic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm stunned it's geared high enough to do that.
it goes.
It goes.
And I had an open stretch. I was there. I was with some sort of business trip with Porsche, and they gave us, that was like our car that we all were sharing, the 4 Americans who had come, and I got it for some afternoon. They all had some meeting that I didn't have, and I took it out and past Stuttgart out into the country, and I just let it
Ripped
go, and I got up to 160.
know exactly the stretch you did it on.
It's like terrifying.
I think
High
it's great.
speed.
I didn't find anything scary about
It was
being on
the
Autobahn.
winter, and
Well, okay, all right.
So you're doing it on snow tires that are rated to go 120.
you know, I didn't think about that. It probably was on snow tires.
Yeah.
That literally didn't cross my mind until this moment.
It was on snow tires.
It definitely was.
Yeah. It's required.
I don't go that fast very often, but before I do, I do a whole series of checks and make sure it's there's a lot
Like,
that
do you put the speed key in?
if it had one. Fortunately, it doesn't, but I would if it did. I like procedure.
Boy, is that true.
True.
Question for Doug, Kennan, and Filippo from Little Bubba. What's your favorite car movie or car movies?
I don't know if it counts, but I feel like it does because the car is such a character in the movie. My favorite movie of all time is Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and the car is obviously a pretty
Cal
significant
Spider.
character. Yeah, rep Cal Spider, but a Modena, which we've sold a number of those on the site
big money.
for real money, which is another topic altogether.
My favorite, I love Gone in 60 Seconds dearly.
Strong.
Yeah.
However, Fast and Furious.
You've only seen the first 3.
Yeah, but one. I'm only talking about number 1.
To be clear-
I'm only talking about number 1.
They become less about cars as they go.
Fast and Furious 1 is the greatest car movie of all time, period.
You know what's pretty good? The remake of the Italian Job.
With Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah.
It's a mini movie.
Right.
I don't do minis.
I think I agree with
I
that.
like
Seriously.
minis, but I need real cars in a movie. I need like Ronin.
There's a Aston something then.
Okay, that's not enough.
There are
Yeah.
Land Rover Defenders.
Family Man's another good one. That 550.
550. Not a lot of 550 Maranello movies.
Not many. That was a nice one too. The
Yeah.
color combo was good.
Yep.
I can't think of anything that I notably. associate with
You know what
cars.
was great? The Charlie's Angels movies, not
seen
great
it.
movies, but Ferrari sponsored them at the time because Ferrari want for advertising, and so they have Enzo, Cal Spider, tons and tons of
Nice.
360. Cameron
Nice.
Diaz's character drove a 360, and because I believe I can't remember who it was, but they the actresses got to drive the Enzo before any journalist did at the time, because there's one scene I can't remember if it was, I don't want to say Elizabeth Hurley, but that's not right. There's this girl's getting out of she was opening the It was Demi Moore, thank you. Demi Moore was getting came out of the ocean with like her surfboard, and she goes to like get in the car, and it's an Enzo, and like opens the door, and gets in, and she drove it. And so she drove it before.
That's incredible.
But it's like Demi Moore had a more
your
informed
Enzo to the
position.
ocean with your surfboard.
Yeah, more informed position than any automotive journalist.
We should probably call out the Daniel Craig James Bond movies for being
Oh,
deep
well-
Ford sponsorship. They highlighted a Fusion. They highlighted a Ka. They went big on
Yeah,
cars.
that's true. They went deep Ford.
'Cause,
Although the ones where Ford owned Aston and Jaguar, there was
were
that
other
one.
cars,
Was it
yeah.
Die Another Day where there was the green XKR and
The start of one of them has a chase that
Thunderbird.
includes a Giulia quad.
it's so funny. When I think James Bond, I think of the DVS and Casino Royale. You think
Reasonably, I think of the Ford Fusion in that same movie.
I still think of the BMW.
And the Range Rover.
I still think of the BMW.
Oh, yeah, of course.
When I think of James Bond, I think of Pierce Brosnan, who in my opinion was the best James Bond, although that
agree.
opinion is shared by nobody.
No,
and the
I agree with
BMWs, which I think were the best
I
cars.
have a license plate designed by Pierce Brosnan. Keep that in mind.
the best.
so true.
I think the best James Bond usually is the James Bond that was James Bond when you grew up.
I get
and
it.
in our case, it was Pierce Brosnan.
Okay, we got two more
Arguably.
questions. Next question is from Doug's Nissan Cube. Will Sean ever appear on the pod? Would be interested to hear about his 360 and G63 ownership.
if only.
First off, Sean doesn't have a G63. He's got a bad colored G-Wagon. It's a regular.
G550.
And he's not cut out to own it. He keeps having all these problems that, like, you can chalk up to just he's not ready. Like, he needs a Grenadier, honestly, is what he needs. He needs like a newer car with a warranty.
Think about how much he'll complain.
His 360 ownership's been great. He won't appear on the pod. Sean is an old friend of mine. He's been in production for a long time. He worked on a lot of shows you've seen if you're in the car world. However, he doesn't like to be in front of the camera.
Which is a shame, because it'd be nice to have him right there.
He says he'll come on the pod eventually. If you want him to come on the pod, write to him at Sean at Cars and Bids, SEAN at carsandbids.com. SEAN at carsandbids.com.
And if he doesn't reply to you, just email him again.
Yeah, just keep sending him notes. Sign him up for stuff.
I wasn't
Please
going
don't
to
do
say
that.
that, but that's
Please
what I
don't do
was
that.
thinking.
Okay, next question. I'm going to do actually two more. Mouse Cop, very important question for Doug. Why do you no longer get in the back seats of cars that you review? This is a question I get a lot. I have back trouble, serious, real back trouble. That I try to avoid doing crazy stuff with my back. I have little kids now, and I want to play on the floor with them, and I don't want to have back trouble. I had some real incidents with my back that really caused some problems, and I have it for a while now, and I'm just trying to avoid anything like that, so I don't do it anymore, which I'm sorry.
I saw you in the back seat of a Honda Prelude.
I did get in the back seat of the
That
Prelude.
video.
I did. Yeah. I don't do a lot. My job is more physical than it looks. It's not anymore because I shoot everything in here, but like for a long time, I was like 5 hours in the sun every day.
But you're also kneeling down a lot. Why you didn't just sit on the box like I do for all those years? I never
bring a box. Like the difference between me and you is you have a box.
Yeah, it protects
I have a
it.
backpack.
But
like
yeah,
I try to be as slim and as easy as possible because when you start adding stuff, it means you got to add stuff. And
but one thing to keep it in, and then something to
that
sit
box
on.
doesn't fit in most cars.
Yes,
though.
it does. It's not. Look at it. It's not very large. There's literally a backpack next to it, and it's barely taller than that.
Massive.
No,
it doesn't fit my Ford GT. Anyway, the point is,
nothing. It doesn't have a trunk.
well, there you go. The point is, I don't kill myself for this job anymore. I only sit, like I did for so many years, toiling, laying brick out in the hot sun. I was digging holes and
Something appropriate somehow.
I was digging holes and framing houses for so many years. I can't go anymore. Now I sit here on this podcast in an air-conditioned space with Filippo.
Yep.
It's a shame. Really.
We are underground. That's our big issue.
Who do you think dug the foundation? It was me by hand with a steam shovel.
I would. Yep, that definition of by hand there.
Well, but the steam shovel also requires a lot of work. It's not like it's not like modern technology that he uses.
Right.
You gotta,
Don't forget, it's powered by steam. You gotta have someone to feed the
You
fire.
gotta feed
with
the
coal
steam,
or
and
wood.
that burned my skin. I came in at night with burns.
You know who would do that really well? You would be really good at running a steam locomotive.
Yes, I'd also be a good lighthouse keeper. I've been told, like a lot of Victorian era things, I would be
Blacksmith.
pretty good.
Okay, last. I'm going to do two more, but I'm doing so quickly that it's going to feel like one. Douglas and Filippo, would the new Prelude actually be compelling at the pre-tariff price point?
Tariffs
No.
are not what impacted that price.
No.
Except that now they may, because there's talk of additional tariffs on Japanese vehicles. The president has announced additional tariffs. Will that happen?
The
Who knows?
Prelude it would have been, everybody's talking about price point. It would have been so much easier to just give it more power. Like the whole problem could have been solved with 65 more horsepower. And so everybody's like, oh, make it cheaper. I don't think it's compelling at 38. Like, I think it's
compelling. It's how much is a Civic Hybrid?
Yeah, that's the problem. Like Civic Hybrids are 34. BRZs, I mean, I would rather have a BRZ and that's like 33 or something.
The Prelude would be more comfortable if you want that.
You get my point. Yeah, but I don't want that. No one in a coupe segment wants that anymore.
I don't disagree.
The Cadillac ELR told us.
You can buy an Accord Hybrid for 34.
Yeah.
It's a good vehicle. That's the same MPG as a Prelude.
So the answer is no. I truly think that the way to remedy the Prelude is not to make it cheaper, which is what everybody's saying. It's to give it more power. It's to give it the power that it actually should have. You know, it's funny. Honda's like, oh, we're bringing back this nameplate that everybody loved from back in the day. Well, the people who loved it were people who were 17 in 2000. Those people have enough money now to go out and buy it, but they also have expectations of performance that have changed from when they were 17 in 2000, and 200 horsepower felt fast. And Honda hasn't delivered that. And so they hit the nostalgia crowd with something they don't want. I don't want to actually go back to high school. I want to go back to what my high school self wanted. And it is not a 200 horsepower Prelude.
Hard to argue with that.
Okay, last question from My Cash Viper. Doug, you mentioned during your reviews that a certain car drives better or worse than a similar car in the same segment. As a journalist, it makes sense to say these comments, but how do you remember when you have driven so many cars in your lifetime? This is my job. Of course I remember.
Doug has for those that don't know Doug personally, he has an exceptionally good memory.
But also,
does matter.
This is what I do in your job. You probably remember what do people do in their jobs? I don't know.
Index match in Excel. VLOOKUP in Excel.
Filippo can do a pivot table. Filippo can do a pivot table like that. You ask him to do a pivot table, doesn't in his sleep, doesn't even use the mouse. He just uses the keyboard shortcuts. Okay,
no.
That's the equivalent. Okay, I went to the heart doctor. I got some heart thing. I went to the heart doctor, and I wore like a heart patch, for like 3 weeks or something. And I went in there and I said, yeah, here's the data. And he said, oh, this is nothing. I said, and I'm looking at it, right? And it's like this.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, how do you know? He goes, I've been doing this a long time.
Fundamentally, you're right. Like, it is your job to remember how those cars drive, to pay really close attention to that.
This is what I do. It's the only thing that I do.
I'm going to keep that clip.
All right. Do we have anything else? Filippo, do you have any final thoughts for the audience?
No, but keep checking out our events. If you've missed the one in Phoenix, we're going to have an event here at our office with Avant. If you're an Avant San Diego member, you should go check that out, sign up.
If I'm an Avant San Diego member, am I a member on all the Avances?
I believe so. I don't know. That's a question for the Avance folks. Sorry, Kevin.
The answer is yes to that. Yes.
You got any parting? He's just going to promo us, and I can't take it anymore. You got any parting?
Check out the cars on the tab.
Yes, the Avance. You can talk to our friend Kevin. Signed up. Yes, just check out. I've got a lot of cool YouTube content coming. So go check.
Jealous.
Thank you. I've been trying to.
Why wasn't I invited?
What? We'll do something together. But go check out my YouTube channel. It's Kennan Rolson.
I want to be clear, not to be in it, but to just see a dyno run.
I'll invite you for the M5.
These guys are promoting stuff. I'm not going to promo anything. I'm only going to say one parting thought, which is send us an email, Sean@carsandbids.com, just to check in. SEAN@carsandbids.com. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, January.